40 minutes? All yours.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. I know it's after lunch, so people might be a bit sleepy, so we'll try and make sure it's a bit engaging. So on stage, we have an amazing panel of speakers. We're going to have a fireside chat about stablecoins in Africa, specifically looking at stability and innovation, powering digital payments. So let me start off by asking our panelists to give us a little bit of an intro about themselves, just 30 seconds, and maybe make it a bit exciting. Could you tell us just one little thing about yourself, maybe a job you had back in the day that's not on LinkedIn? Let's start with you, Victoria.
Thank you, Duncan. Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria Calmon. I lead marketing at Mento Labs, the team behind Mento. We are a decentralized stablecoin platform. And so a job that is not on my CV. I'm a sailor. I'm a fully qualified ocean sailor. So that's something that I like to do on holiday with my family. Renting a sailboat and sailing around the Mediterranean or other exotic places.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. My name is Daniel Kimotho from the Celo Foundation. It's great to be here. At Celo, we are a blockchain network, soon to be part of the larger Ethereum ecosystem. And I'm on the ecosystems and partnerships team at the Celo Foundation. So jobs that I've not had on my CV. I'm an entrepreneur, and there's so many companies that I built right before I started getting in the hang of it that don't feature on my LinkedIn. I think I crashed and burned about 5 companies before I could have at least one that I could start that got my traction going. Yeah, so that's not on the LinkedIn.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sebastien from Opera team. I've been with Opera for 5 years, and I'm in charge of Web3 partnerships. What is not on my LinkedIn when I'm not discussing partnerships with you guys, I'm probably playing football with my team or training.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. My name is Duncan Muchangi. I lead business development at Fonbnk and very excited to be leading this conversation today. So just to set a little bit of sort of a context about the stablecoin environment in Africa today, according to statistics from Chain Analysis, they estimate about 43% of transactions that in cryptocurrency were all stablecoins, right? Now, I know we are all very closely involved in the ecosystem. We've seen the ecosystem grow, but I want to discuss first about the current landscape, right? What are the challenges? What are the opportunities that you've seen? And maybe you can start with you, Victoria. Maybe you could give us a little bit of introduction there.
Thank you, Duncan. Yes. So I think the biggest challenge in the adoption of stablecoins in general is just the complexity, right? The complexity of crypto adoption, the need to make the user experience seamless and accessible. Also, there are barriers to financial literacy and trust. Many people lack understanding of what a stablecoin is. And there's a lot of skepticism, especially due to past scams that people have heard about in the news. Of course, on and off ramping is also a challenge. And even internet and mobile access, because if mobile penetration is high, there's sometimes mobile penetration can be high, but internet reliability and data costs can hinder seamless transactions.
That's very interesting. And I know you probably have done a bit of survey of the market. Are you able to give us maybe a hint of what are people using stablecoins for? What exactly are they doing with it?
So at Mento, we actually surveyed our users last December about stablecoin usage, and the responses that we received, 42% use stablecoins for savings. So that's the biggest use case that we see. The second biggest use case for stablecoins is payments. That came at 18% of our respondents. Then shopping and payments, of course, trading and loans.
Got it. So when you think about the space, they're using it for savings, they're using it for payments. What are the challenges, or what are the opportunities that are still open in the space that could potentially also grow?
Well, the opportunities in the space, as we've heard in the panels before that I had the opportunity to listen to, is obviously it's clear across the continent there's a very young population. It's growing rapidly. These are digital natives, and they're eager to adopt new solutions. So that's something that's very positive and optimistic. Also, there's a lot of opportunities for solutions around remittances and cross-border payments. This is a perfect use case for stablecoins because there's a real need across the continent to address this. Also, e-commerce and trade and DeFi and lending are, of course, opportunities for stablecoins.
I like that last bit about e-commerce. And just to give you a little bit of an anecdote, if you think about e-commerce across Africa, with all these countries, if you're a business or a merchant and you have to collect multiple different currencies, that brings a lot of complexities when it comes to treasury management. So I can definitely see a very big opportunity once e-commerce companies are able to adopt stablecoins as a settlement currency, right? Now, let me move on to Daniel and ask, I know it's very, very important if you want to gain access to stablecoins, you need to have some form of local currency to start with. So maybe you could give us, what is the role of existing infrastructure? So mobile money, what is exactly its role? And how does it give, what is its role in stablecoins, really? Like, how do they interface with each other?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So stablecoins have found mobile money in existence. So mobile money is the platform from which people launch into stablecoins. That launch happens through on and off ramp infrastructure services. So we have very many of them, the likes of Fonbnk being one of them. There's Kotani Pay, there's Pretium. There's quite a number of them in the space, and the space has really been evolving and growing to accommodate a lot more of these on and off ramps, enabling people with the various local currencies who may be holding it in mobile money wallets to migrate over to stablecoin, which is held in crypto wallets such as MiniPay and many others that exist in our ecosystem. So as a launchpad, mobile money works really well. The key factor here is the bridges that facilitate the migration from this mobile money to the stablecoins.
Yeah, so this is very interesting because earlier on there was a panel, and I think it's Mololuku said there's no difference between M-Pesa and stablecoins. So M-Pesa is basically a representation of some fiat that exists, and we believe Safaricom and M-Pesa have kept our money very safely. So there is no difference between that and the stablecoins you're talking about today, correct? But my question is, do we have a lot of mobile money who are now offering the platform, or how do people do it? Do we go directly to an agent, or maybe you could give us the context? How are people doing it with mobile money today?
Yes, so just as a background, so while earlier we stated that stablecoins have found mobile money, and as Duncan has reminded us, M-Pesa being one of the OG stablecoins with the Kenya shilling, that served as a really good Trojan horse, I would say, into the digitization of money as we know it, of this world of digital currencies. And the penetration is really high. The number of users on some of these platforms can get to like about maybe 40 or 50 million for the likes of M-Pesa. And there are many such kinds of platforms across Africa, from MTN, Orange, Money. All these various mobile money service providers have done a lot of work to get mobile money services in the hands of very many people, and to get many people to have access even in the remotest areas of some of these countries that we're talking about. Now, that as a backbone has provided the necessary education and awareness of how to operate with digital currencies. So now when we get stablecoins coming in, it's not a very foreign concept. It's more or less the same experience. So typically, at present, and it depends with the country that the service is being offered. So we'll take a case for Kenya. So Kenya, given that there's the central bank circular that went out in 2015-2016 that cautioned banks and regulated financial service providers from working directly with crypto assets. We found that the market naturally moved to a peer-to-peer ecosystem where I could sell to Victoria and I could sell to Seb and they could sell back to me. And this could happen in private settings. So many times there's a platform in between that serves as an escrow service provider and a retainer or a platform that gives us reputation scores and generally ensures that the trade is happening in a safe way. So that has been the context to which, at least in Kenya, it is working. In other countries where mobile money and cryptocurrencies can work more directly, we then have direct integrations where the migrations happen seamlessly, moving from cryptocurrencies to the mobile money wallet fiat, and also the other way back from the mobile money fiat into cryptocurrencies. So it's country specific depending on the laws of the land, and the laws of the land also shape how the market responds. For instance, like in Kenya with more of a P2P, the P2P ecosystem is more resilient than a direct integration because that's not very acceptable to the regulated financial entities.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for that amazing answer. And I think you've set the context or for my next question. Now that mobile money has sort of been the precursor, because mobile money exists, I think we can confidently say adoption of cryptocurrency is also easier for a lot of mobile money users. Now, moving on to Seb, you probably are the leading sort of driver of adoption across the continent with MiniPay, which has done amazingly well. So maybe you can give us a little bit more details in terms of the opportunities that you've experienced at MiniPay and some of the challenges as well when it comes to driving adoption and yeah, please.
Sure. Maybe first for those who don't know about MiniPay, MiniPay is a dollar stablecoin wallet built on Celo blockchain. In terms of opportunity for stablecoins, we see that as, let's say, not the potential conflict with mobile money, with the overlap of certain use case, but it's more about how the ecosystem will work and how this stablecoin will be part of the financial life of the users. And if we think about that, how we can describe the financial life for an individual, it's about, first of all, receiving money on an account. It can be the salary payment, it can be some remittance, domestic or international. Then in the second time is about spending, and then in the last time it's about saving, if you have the chance to have an income that allow you to do that. And with MiniPay, we try to really build an ecosystem, having a kind of network effect with, for example, leveraging the acceptance of mobile money in Kenya. With MiniPay, you can pay with your stablecoin everywhere M-Pesa is accepted in Kenya, for example. So just because of that, we can expect that MiniPay will take a larger place in the user financial life and have it, let's say, not in conflict with mobile money, but really the user can decide which product he prefers to use. Let's say for remittance, for example, MiniPay is perfect for that. You can transfer assets from a continent to another at almost no fee. Maybe for some other use case that MiniPay cannot cover, M-Pesa will be a better product. So it's actually not like a battle between products, but it's literally the user decision to choose which service is the most convenient or offer the better cost. So that's how we built MiniPay, addressing use cases that are for everyday's life. Like the merchant payment is literally one of my preferred because adoption literally starts with this kind of use case.
No, that's amazing that you've made it very clear. These are complementary. Mobile money and stablecoin wallet like MiniPay, these are complementary, right?
Yeah, exactly. I said the remittance example is the best for that. Receiving money from MiniPay is very easy from abroad. You can on-ramp, in other countries, let's say in Europe, for example, and you can receive in Kenya almost instantly, and then off-ramp if you decide to do that to M-Pesa, or you can keep your stablecoin on MiniPay wallet if you are fine with that, with the acceptance of merchant in the country with, for example, Pretium, the company we integrated in MiniPay that allow us to pay merchant accepting M-Pesa.
Yeah, this is amazing because as we continue to develop the industry and build new products, a lot of times, people ask, why would I use this when I have M-Pesa? Or why would you use this, in exchange? But like Seb has mentioned, these are complementary products. What will happen is there's instances where you will find your MiniPay wallet very useful because perhaps you don't have M-Pesa. And I have an example. I think I was having a chat with you, Seb, who just landed in the country and he didn't have M-Pesa. So when he came to the expressway, he needed to pay for the toll charge, for the taxi. And so luckily he had MiniPay, and so was able to pay the toll at expressway using your MiniPay wallet. So it's that particular instance, right, where he's new in the country, he doesn't necessarily need M-Pesa today, but he was able to transact using MiniPay. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's super, super convenient. No need to open an account here. I can just transfer to the driver who paid the fee from his account. So very instant, no fee. And if, for example, I travel to Nigeria, I arrive with the same MiniPay account, and I can start using it the same way to merchant accepting, for example, OPay or MoneyPoint. So that's great for MiniPay, international aspect, and you keep your wallet from one country and you can use it almost anywhere.
Yeah, because a lot of the challenges as well when it comes to mobile money has been geographical sort of constraints. So if you have a mobile money in Kenya, you probably can't even use it in Uganda or Tanzania. And these are just neighboring countries. So for the first time, stable coins or digital wallets are breaking down these borders, right? Allow me to stick with you, Seb. So you've been able to achieve significant adoption or growth of MiniPay, right? And maybe you can share with us a bit of numbers so that people can see what you're talking about. But could you give us maybe what is the significance of Africa? I know you've scaled across multiple other countries outside Africa, but give us some numbers and what is the significance of Africa in this MiniPay play?
Sure. Actually, MiniPay started in Nigeria in September 2023, then expanded to 7 more countries during the last year, and recently was developed as a standalone application available on Google Play Store and very soon on iOS. So what we communicate recently is the 5 million activation milestone that we reached at the end of last year, and yeah, the growth is very very impressive, I have to say, especially once we have this use case like Pretium, which really helped for adoption.
Are you willing to share any strategies to get 5 million users? I mean, we would. I'm sure the audience would definitely love to hear a few of the things you guys did.
No, of course. Well, we are consistent with the MiniPay DNA. Even if it's built on blockchain, it's not a product for crypto degens and traders. It's literally for everyone in this room and outside, for paying the food, for buying coffee, for sending and receiving remittance. And we are, let's say, very strict with the integrations that we allow in MiniPay, just to make sure that the consistency of simplicity is still intact over time with the new integration. So that's very important to keep always this simplicity anytime for MiniPay users. So we don't lose them with some complex product, with some complex wording, or with too much education that could be needed, for example, for adopting the product. It's very easy. If you have Opera Mini, for example, MiniPay is integrated in the browser as a feature. You just need your phone number and you have a MiniPay wallet, so you can start sending and receiving just after activating. So simplicity is really the key for scaling, because you don't need to educate to crypto, which we know sometimes might be tricky with the press and certain stories we can hear in the media.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, please go ahead,
Okay.
Victoria. I was about to ask you next.
I'm going to jump in here as the marketing person. I think we can also attribute the growth and success of MiniPay's adoption to the co-marketing opportunities that we do together. MiniPay has a fantastic ambassador program in different countries, so you have power users on the ground helping to onboard new users. There's also evolutions within MiniPay to support users, such as the Learn and Earn campaign. There are many opportunities for users to learn about crypto, learn about stablecoins in MiniPay, and be rewarded for that. And the ecosystem just keeps growing. So it's a collective effort of co-marketing together with our partners and communicating our success.
Yeah, no, I wanted to come to there because I know you've also done quite a bit of work when it comes to simplifying the use of stablecoins. I know you also have visibility over local currency stablecoins. So what would you say is other ways? Could you give us a little bit more on the technical side? How do you make it easier for users to maybe move between different currencies, different stablecoins at Mento?
Well, Mento has the Mento Asset Exchange, which is a swap feature. And so it's a standalone app that's on mento.org, but it has been integrated into MiniPay as part of the Pockets swap feature. So that enables MiniPay users to very easily drag and drop folders in the user interface between the different dollar stablecoins within MiniPay, USD, USDT, USDC, and so it was powered by Mento, or the Pockets feature by MiniPay.
Thank you, Victoria. Daniel, I know we have a long relationship in terms of building partnerships. And I want you to start this question from an ecosystem perspective. What is the role of partnerships building an ecosystem? I mean, give us maybe your experience the last 5 years to where we are right now. And then I will segue that into partnerships and, from a product perspective with Seb.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, the relationship has been long. At one point, we worked quite closely with Duncan when he was investing in companies across Africa. At the time, within the Celo ecosystem, Duncan was one of the investors that was supporting businesses and companies growing here in Africa and building on top of the Celo network. And that led to investments in some really amazing companies like Bitmama and many others, including also Fonbnk. Yes. So the development of an ecosystem, of course, is quite key to some of the progress we've seen so far. There's very many assets that went into, or rather go into the development of an ecosystem, such as the one that we have within the Celo sphere. We did have, and we still do have, incubation efforts where we nurture young companies and founders that are starting businesses. I've seen businesses launch from idea stage and grow out to do very many transactions a day and annually in very large volumes. Many, including also Fonbnk, I saw them growing. And so incubation, of course, starts off this ecosystem, nurturing these founders and providing them what they need, including grants in various forms of investment, including venture capital funding, and also general support, making introductions between one company to the other, running co-marketing efforts such as the ones that Victoria had mentioned, and also larger partners that come into the ecosystem like Opera with products like MiniPay that are able to hold all these businesses within its own ecosystem. So we do see large ecosystems forming within the larger ecosystem, like the MiniPay ecosystem that has formed within Celo, and it also has its own companies and its own culture and, like Seb was mentioning, their own standards of how they do ensure that users get a great experience on their platform. So some of these efforts largely come from supporting founders and the builders of companies and looking at what it is that they need in order to succeed, and then the rest, you could say, almost takes care of itself.
Yeah, I think you've played a very important role when it comes to building the ecosystem, and we can see the fruits of that work. As you've heard, it's building upon stacks, bringing together everyone you need, and that's where we are today. Now, introducing MiniPay, and it also has an amazing ecosystem that is also developing. And maybe, Seb, you could give us a little bit more details. I know you're a non-custodial wallet, but then you have all these partners who are coming on board, and you have a platform for new other products. Give us a little bit more details on that.
Yeah, sure. Actually, we just can't build everything. Like MiniPay today is present in more than 50 countries since we launched MiniPay as a standalone application on Android. And Opera is a browser company. Of course, we have a team working on MiniPay, but it's literally impossible to develop all these localized use cases that make MiniPay value by yourself. So that's why we are very partnership friendly, and we try to find and to identify what could be the next use case, who could be the next companies building on Celo blockchain for MiniPay. Of course, like Opera is, well-known company, listed company with, global business for the browser activity. But we like to work with startups. Actually, majority of the partners we integrated in MiniPay, their products are developed by a very small team. Like Prityaman mentioned before, we started working with them. Only 2% in the company at the beginning, and now they are one of the most successful mini apps that we integrated in MiniPay. So yeah, it's actually very, very difficult to find these partners now. We still want to keep our attention on this, local use case that, as I said, add a lot of value to MiniPay to continue the growth of the user base. So that's the first point. Yeah, no problem working with startups, even if we are like, we are seen as a big company, but we are still in the process very, very agile with the partners. And second thing also that is important to note, Opera works with also partners because, these business are very complex to develop, but also to operate. I can mention, for example, dApps and companies like Fonbnk. In the countries, in the different countries, these activities for on and off ramp, for example, are regulated. So this is also another reason that, this company have to maintain the right, local compliance level, customer support, product development, and this is definitely too much just for being managed by Opera. So that's why we like to rely on partners to support this use case.
All right, thank you so much for setting that context, because I think it's the first time we're having a platform with such a huge access or a massive access to users and the user base, giving opportunity to startups to partner and build on them. So if you have a product and you want to build for 100 million users in Africa, I think you should think about MiniPay as a platform. Maybe as we start to think about wrapping up, maybe you could give me some little bit of exciting use cases that or rather, what is exciting you about the future of stablecoins? What use cases do you see coming up in the future, or what would you like us to look out for? We can start with you, Victoria.
Well, exciting use cases for stablecoins, something that's very close to my heart is the ability of peer-to-peer transactions, but also donations. I have to give a shout out to my friend Edwin from Codietu. It's possible to just give a donation within MiniPay to an association that is comprised of volunteers that helps children learn how to code in Kenya. So that's, we met at ETH Safari, and that was just a few months ago, and now today there is a donation app within MiniPay. So thank you, MiniPay ecosystem, for being innovative and helping to support local communities. This just really makes me excited. So this is the tip of the iceberg. I know there's a lot of more innovation that's possible across the continent and together.
Yeah, what about you, Daniel?
Yeah, so yesterday somebody was reminding me of a big moment in crypto, and that was the 2017 ICO boom. And when you look at it quite closely, ICOs are a form of crowdfunding, just leveraging the power of collective contributions towards a particular project. And so that's what's exciting me for this year. We do have our friends at Kickstarter who are working on a product on Celo, and that's really exciting for this year. Hopefully to get to see it soon coming up. So crowdfunding should be one of the things that we would expect to do well, or rather I would expect to do well, and I look forward to that.
Awesome. What about you, Seb?
Well, as I said before, when I described the financial life of individual that start with being paid or at least receiving money on the account, I will give you actually the two use cases that I would like just to develop and that are super promising. The first is of course the remittance, international remittance. We have some campaigns with crypto to fiat and fiat to crypto companies, allowing us to waive the fees for that service, combined with the fact that you can transfer stablecoin between MiniPay users for almost no fee as well. That creates huge possibility and huge improvement for international remittances, because this is instant as it is for MiniPay peer-to-peer transactions, but also the fee becomes super, super competitive with the combination of no fee for converting from and to cash and from transacting to on the blockchain. So that's the first thing, and the second that is also very, very promising is being paid on MiniPay, because if you consider that you can spend your asset to merchants, that makes super sense to ask receiving your salary directly on your MiniPay account. So this, for example, what we do at Opera. We work with freelancers in Africa. We are a foreign company, and that's much easier for us to pay them in stablecoin. They are paid instantly, and to receive stablecoin. So, for example, in Kenya, again, they can spend their stablecoin directly to the merchant accepting M-Pesa, or they can convert to fiat with our partners. So that's the two use case I really like. I think, knowing where we are today, this is some use case that we will, focus a lot in the next few months and quarters.
No, this is amazing. Thank you so much. I think maybe to describe what is happening here, I can imagine a young person who gets a job as a freelancer, a 20-year-old at Opera, and then he gets paid or she gets paid into their MiniPay wallet. They spend, using Prettium on the app. They can pay for their goods everywhere. I don't think so. What is going on here is a young person is being involved in the digital economy outside the traditional financial ecosystem. So they've not even gone to a bank. They've not, necessarily opened an account. So we are having, I don't want to call it a parallel, but it's an alternative financial ecosystem that is serving either underbanked or, the future will be, the younger generation will look back and say, why did you need a bank account? That sounds like something that you used to do, very, very back in the day. All right, so we have a few minutes left, and I definitely want to have a couple of questions from the audience today. Please, if anyone has a question, feel free to field it now before we wrap up.
Or you can come and visit us. We're on booth 71. Also happy to have you come by.
Okay, well, if no questions, then yeah, like Victoria said, you can come visit us at the MiniPay booth or the Celo booth, and you can have a chat about any of the topics we've discussed today. Thank you so much to our panelists. I don't know if you have any parting shot. Maybe, maybe a parting shot from you, Victoria, Daniel, Seb, before we wrap up? No? All right, no worries. Thank you so much, everyone, for your amazing contribution, and the audience for staying with us today.
Thank you.
Please, a hand clap for our audience, for our panelists today.